Hi guys, so welcome to another blog/vlog of Saad Talks Life. Today we'll be going through 52 lessons I learned during my time at TAMUQ, which was my undergraduate university experience. When I started writing this, I thought I'll just have 10 and it would take me a while to write all of them. Surprisingly, within half an hour I had like 45, and then as I was living my life, I kind of had like a few that pop up along the way. And I don't know how I ended up at 52. In the blog, basically I list down all of the lessons, but if you basically want to go into detail about each, I'll break down the video with each kind of advice so it's easier for you guys to follow. And you can access which specific part you want to access, but I was able to end up at 52. I think there would be more as well, but I think for now it's just going to be 52. So let's get into it. So the first one is surround yourself with the right people. I think this is very important because for me, there's a saying which I kind of agree with, that you are the average of the 5 people around you. Obviously that alters here and there, but for me in mechanical, I had the honor, I'd say, to having two of the smartest people as my closest friends in mechanical batch. And they kind of pushed me to study, and even we weren't competing against each other in any way, but it was always very nice to kind of sit down, study together, push each other, kind of remind each other that this is very important and things like that. So in terms of academics or anything, it's extremely important to surround yourself with the people who keep you straight, keep you in line, and kind of push you to be better. And for me, like those two people, shout out to Shara and Yusuf, they kind of kept me in check. My grades were good. Academically, I was very good because of those two. So that's number one. Make sure you surround yourself with the right people. It's hard at the start, but do try to find people. Go outside of your comfort zone and try to find people to kind of like, work with. So that's number one. The second one is work together. Working together is better than alone when done right. So a lot of times what people do is they get together in a group and then they just start talking or they start messing around and it gets messy. So people, and I used to do this, was an extreme, is I stopped working with people at all. I used to go home, open my own textbook and spend hours trying to understand the concept. And I learned along the way that also, especially in a field like engineering, takes too long. It's very hard to sit down and kind of study and learn things together. I learned things alone. So what I did was, again, going back to point one, those two guys I used to sit down and study with. And obviously what we used to do is we did not just sit down without any information and just be lost. One of the strategies that we adopted in our final year and in our junior year in spring was that we used to go away, study for a bit ourselves, and then come back and solve questions together. And when we used to solve questions together, there were discussions that we used to like mess around a bit here or there as well, but then it was always about like making sure that we get the thing done right, because obviously we used to sit together maybe a day or 2 days before the exam, and at that time there is literally no time to waste because you're trying to kind of like get in as much information as possible right before the exam. So that's something we used to do. And obviously they're just saying that divided we fall, united we are strong. So working together, not just in academics but even in sports, for instance. By the way, this TAMUQ experience is not just academics, it's everything: academics, sports, student leadership, everything. So working together is important, but you do need to make sure you find the right people to do it with. And second, you kind of set boundaries during that time and you know what the expectations are, so you're not wasting time. I could go about and speak about every point for half an hour, but I'm just giving you guys those quick inputs. And obviously if you want more information about it, then maybe you can shoot me an email or something and then I can expand on that. Okay, number 3, share. Don't hide things in hope of getting ahead. So back in sophomore year, I used to like do my homework, and I shouldn't be saying this, I used to lie to people that I haven't done my homework and I did not share it with them because I was like, wow, I'll get ahead. That's toxic. Do not do that. For example, in a major like mechanical or in like engineering majors, sooner rather than later you will need other people's help, and if you're doing that, people will not help you back. But that shouldn't be the intention anyway. The intention should be just to share whatever you have. Do not let anyone take advantage of you. That's not what I'm saying, but if anyone ever needs help or they might need help here or there, do help them, do share whatever you have, and do ask back as well. Sometimes people are sometimes people who are hesitant to share are also hesitant to ask things back, but do both. It will help you along the way. Number 4, diversity always wins. Now, this is my student leadership experience. A lot of times what people do is that they mix people that look the same. So you have, for instance, a team full of Desis, or a team full of Arabs, or a team full of white people. There's no diversity, or they might be the same gender, or they might be friends since forever. And if there's no diversity, the chances of you succeeding, or the chances of you having creative ideas really lowers. So it's very important, especially in like student leadership opportunities, when you have a chance to make your own team, always try to make it diverse. Sometimes you don't get the chance to do that, but whenever you do try to make your team diverse, because when you do make it diverse, then you get different ideas, then you have different groups of friends who want to participate in your events and activities, and it just feels like it's just better. And you also get to learn more about different cultures and how they work, which is also very, very beneficial. Number 5, always try new things and participate. A lot of times people follow their friends in what they're doing, and that is why I go back to number 1, surround yourself with the right people. But sometimes you have to be the right person to push people around you. So whenever you get a chance, this was my strategy. In the first 2.5 years, I tried a lot of different things. But then after that, in my mind, there were only 3 things I wanted to do. I wanted to make sure my academics were good. 4 things. I wanted a good professional background with internships and stuff. ASME was my only student organization which I wanted to work on. It was clear in my head that is what I wanted to do. And number 4, I wanted to play sports and kind of win the championship, which didn't happen. But in my mind, these were the 4 things I was going to focus on in my last 2.5 years. The first 2 years, I was all over the place. I was part of 4 organizations. I did a lot of different things. I tried different sports as well. So that was basically the first part, the first 2 years. I did attend different MUNs, different conferences. Along with this, number 5, I'd say it's scary always to try new things, but do not be scared. It's very easy to say do not be scared, but the hardest part is just to start. As soon as you start, then everything else just comes along the way, especially in a supportive university environment. So that's that. Number 6, it isn't over till it's over. I'm someone who gets terrible grades in my first exam or quizzes. In thermodynamics, for example, I had like 20% in my first exam. In some other courses, CAD and stuff, I had like 20 out of 100, 30 out of 100 in my second year. But if you give up then, you're gonna end up losing. So this was something I learned from a professor of mine. When I got that 27 out of 100 in that class, I went to him in his office and I said, "What now? Can I get an A?" And I had the fake confidence to go and ask him for an A when I was probably at a U back then. I was failing. So, and he said, and he quoted a Quranic ayah, and he said verse, and he said, "Forget the past and move to the future. If you keep living in the past, then like you won't be able to get ahead." So if something bad happens to you in a university time, just forget it and just move on. Try to be excellent, try to move on, and try to become a better person as you go along. So that's number 6. Number 7, you pick up awards at the end. It's the journey, not the destination. Do envision going up and getting those awards, but that shouldn't be your goal. Your goal should be the journey and becoming a better person. Like, alhamdulillah, I was fortunate to win, I don't know, half a dozen awards, and I'm so glad that I won all of them. But what I value most and what I value better is this experience and the friends I made along the way and the skills I learned, which are transferable into other things that I want to do. So recognition is important, but for me, I think the best recognition was, for example, when people, right before the student leader of the award, everyone went silent in the room and they said, "It's Saad." For me, that was the award. I didn't care who got that award at the end, because everyone knew in their minds that, like, I was supposedly the best leader on campus. So things like that. So I do not ever think about winning awards in that way. Obviously, if it's like a cricket championship and you want to play that, go ahead with it. But it's always about the journey. Enjoy the journey. The destination will come along the way. Next up, if you truly believe in something, do not take no for an answer. We wanted to do a big conference, internationally recognized, and obviously it takes time to convince people and to get them on your side. And there were a lot of times where we thought, like, what the hell are we doing? This might not work out. So it's very important that a lot of people will come around and be like, compromise, make it smaller, do not do this, do not do that, but always aim big, always try to uh, do what you believe in. The most it will take is your time, it's your effort, but we're young and we should be able to give things like that. Number 9, live a balanced life. I just realized this will take me a while. Number 9, live a balanced life, which is essential. So you don't just be academically proficient, you ought to be extracurriculars, internships, sports. Just have fun. In university, involve yourself in so many things that it keeps you so busy, you just keep having fun. It's very important. So do live a balanced life, do go out on the weekends. When you study, just study. Just live a balanced life. And that's something I took away, which I try to apply now as well. So 9 to 5, 8 to 5, I do my job, I come back, I exercise, I hang out with my friends at the XM, things like that. So it's very important to do that. All right, next up. Not everyone's opinion is important, but do take it. A lot of times people they just talk. They don't know what they're talking about. And if you overthink what they're saying, it's just going to demotivate you. So the best thing there is take it, process the fundamentals of what they're trying to say. Maybe there might be something from there that you can apply and become a better person. So do take it, but do not react to those opinions. Sometimes most of those people don't know what they're talking about, or sometimes they're just doing that to either demotivate you, or they don't know. They're not actionable people, they're just talkers. Talkers, not stalkers. Just make sure about that. All right, next up, rely on in-person communication for action. This is something that is extremely important. If you want something to speed up and you want something to get done quicker, you gotta go meet them in person. You gotta go talk to those people in person. Send an email. Always do send an email to confirm things, but do go and talk to those people in person. Like, it's so important. You gotta make these relationships in person. Otherwise, it's very hard for them to get things done. Shoot an email, go to them, speak to them for like half a second. Do not schedule those meetings. I want to come to you to talk about this now. Just pass by their office, knock, ask what you want to talk about, head out. Maybe 2 days later, go and knock again. It speeds things up. Honestly, it's something that I'm still following, and it really speeds things up. Create a good, healthy relationship with everyone. This is important. Mean batch, or like everyone at TAMUQ, I did not expect anything back from anyone. It's just something that I feel comes naturally to me. Just say hi, have a quick conversation, have a healthy relationship with everyone. It's not nice to make enemies. Just be nice to everyone, create a good, healthy environment. Obviously, the larger the campus, the harder it is, or even like in the workspace or in the sports team or something. It's always nice to have a healthy relationship with the people you're working with. Number 13, you are limitless. Keep pushing. You're limitless. Your potential is immense. That's something I've learned. I should not compromise on my ideals and my beliefs and what I want to achieve in the future. So do not compromise. Keep going. And you're limitless. Honestly, the only thing stopping you from achieving what you want is just doing those things consistently. And that's something I keep telling myself as well. If I want to do the things I want to do in my life, I just have to be consistent, and I should not ever tear down those dreams. Next one is, you cannot be perfect at everything. You cannot have a perfect GPA while being the best leader, while being the best cricket player, while being the best kid at home, while being the best friend. You can't do all of that. You just got to understand that. Back of your mind, you should know that doing everything at the same time is literally not possible. So just do keep that in mind. I'm not saying do not pursue being better. Always do try to pursue trying to be a better person, but do keep that in mind. Number 15, thank the people early. Very important. No matter who helps you, no matter what happens, even if you hold a leadership position, no matter what you're doing, always say those 2 words, thank you. It's always very nice. Keep a smile on your face. Thank you very much for helping me. It creates a relationship. It's just a nice thing to do. So do always do that. Next up, never give up. Be ahead of the group. Number 16. Very important. Always be ahead of, not always, but always. Sometimes what happens is the group is always average, or they're just doing the average things. You have to go out, see what's happening better, or pick a few people that you think are doing better work, or people that you want to be like or you want to reach at, and just try to do that. And then going back to number one, you're that person that people begin following. So that's important. I'm gonna skip 17, which is never give up, never give up. Number 18 would be learn from others. That's very important. And I'll tell you why. You have to always learn from others. Everyone has something that they're good at that you may be in comparison to not as be good as. Even just having a small conversation with them will teach you so much. So just roam around, speak to them, talk about something which you think they might be good at, which you're not. And trust me, people do want to spread the knowledge. If you ask them the right way and it doesn't feel like you're trying to snatch away that knowledge from them, people do want to help. Like me doing this, like I do want to help people. I'm not doing this for ratings for my YouTube channel or whatever. Like, that's not the point. People like to help. So always go around with the growth mindset. You want to learn from others, you want to grow, you want to become a better person. Never get cocky, never think just because you're at the top, you will remain at the top, or you are at the top. Anything can happen at any time. Continuously learning, always continue learning from others. Number 19, what you learn now will come in handy later. Basically now, whatever I learned is something that I'm utilizing now in my life. Number 20, be respectful. It's very self-explanatory. You have to be respectful, you have to be nice, but not just to your peers. You have to be nice to the workers, you have to be nice to if you have employees, you have to be nice to the people working outdoors. You have to be respectful to every single person. That shows character. So it's very important to do that. Number 21, you have to be patient. A lot of times people just expect that things will come to them immediately because they did something correct in 2 weeks. That's not how it works. Respect is earned and it takes time. Profit is earned, it takes time. Everything you do in life takes time. So always be patient, continue to persevere, continue to grow as a person, and you will get what you will get if it's meant to be. In my case, for example, it was ASME. It took me a while to get where I got, or there's many other examples, but like me being the student leader, it took time for other people to understand where I'm going. And I finished off with professors even understanding the test. Like I was a testament to how hard the organization worked, and they really applauded that. And now the respect is there for those organizations. I'm going to skip 22, which is dream big, not everything small, important. 23, small things add up. The small things you do, it really adds up. So doing that small fixing in the homework. Okay, I'll give a small story for this one. So I had 2 semesters, right, every year. It's fall and spring. In fall, I used to mainly get B's. In spring, I used to normally get A's, even though my exam grades were around the same. The main difference was that my homeworks. In spring, I used to make sure that I got at least 9 out of 10 in every homework. In fall, I used to just, as long as I got 7 or 8 out of 10, I used to be like, all right, that's okay. And that's something, like I said, if I go back to the earlier point, that you cannot be perfect at everything. That was the reason. I used to focus a lot more on activities in fall and then like tone it down in spring. So that's the point with that point, that those small 1 or 2 percentages led me from a B to an A. So those things really add up. Same in life, those small things will add up. That small relationship, that small effort you made, that thank you, something like that, they all add up. 24, people would disagree with me, but do not work with close friends. It's hard for me, at least personally. If I get close to someone, I have issues. I don't like bringing up conflict, I don't like fighting, I don't raise my voice as much as I could. Not working with friends, so close friends. So don't work with close friends. All right, next up, drop your ego. This is important. So a lot of times when people get up in the ranks, they don't do things like making their own tea or getting their own cup of water just because they have an ego, or lifting grocery bags. Do not do that. Never grow such an ego that these things are, you think that they're below you. So do drop your ego and things like this. But sometimes what happens is people think they take advantage of you when you start doing that. So never take any disrespect at the same time. If someone's disrespectful, on the spot, just shut them down. I've done that. People told me not to do it, but those people were never disrespectful to me again. So important to do that. I even did it once for the professor. So if you guys know, you know. So that's important. Take many pictures and videos of the journey. Very important. Time will move on. The only thing that will remain is your memory of those things. So just take a lot of pictures and videos as you go along. Do not live in the past. That's not what I'm saying. But sometimes you want to sit down and just look at your journey and stuff. Like I have a frame right there, about my favorite moments. I got the ASME, I got my cricket team, I got my friends from high school, university, Suicide Squad, which was a senior design team, EFX, which was like the biggest event I'd say in TAMUQ's history. We had international people who joined in as well, and a funny picture of me in the center. So like those are like my favorite memories of university. All right, rely on technology, do schedule things, do learn how to use productivity tools, very important. Use them as tools, it's very important. Next up, number 28, start change and conversations. Be the person who starts. If you have an idea, right? A lot of times people have ideas, but they're fearful of acting upon them. They want someone else to like start, or they think that what they're thinking is not correct. Be the person who starts that change. It will really help. It will give you a purpose as well, so it's very important. Haven't done, so you might have an idea, but you might be told that someone tried this before and they failed, or this happened or that happened. Understand why they failed. I'll give you an example. Back in university, there was a club that wanted to do gaming events, but people did not attend. So when we were doing engineering week, we had a gaming day, and someone told me that, oh, someone tried that before, it won't work. My response was, as cocky as it may sound, was that because they weren't ASME, they weren't me, so it didn't work out. And that was mainly because they might have messed up. Sometimes it's not the idea, it's the sometimes it's not the idea, it's the execution of the idea. So it's always important to keep that in mind. Okay, next up, be humble. I think I already explained that. Always be humble when you win awards. Always be humble when good things happen to you. Never get cocky. It's very important. 31, leave whatever happened in past and keep pushing. I think I already explained that with Dr. Ibrahim's scenario, the story I told you guys about. That's that one. Number 32, feedback sessions and self-review. I do end of semester reviews. I did it with my organization. I do it for myself as well. If you see at the back, I have a Kanban board, so I plan out stuff. So I always sit down and I kind of like review my life and things like that. Maybe once a month, once 2 months. It's very important to kind of like understand yourself, understand what you're doing well, ask your friends what they think about you, whether you've gotten better and things like that. So it's always important to have those feedback sessions, because if you don't, thinking is important, but the best way to think in my mind, or like to like spurt out these ideas in your mind, is when you write. Like I didn't know I knew all of these things until I started writing them. So always write down maybe 2 months. It might sound girly to some people, but it's not. And always review yourself so you can get better. Number 33, take time off. Does not mean you procrastinate. Go out for bowling, go out for dinner. Don't use your phone while you're hanging out with friends. Just like try to talk to them. Snatch their phone if they're not talking to you, or just leave. There's no point. Go to the beach, go play a cricket game, go play sports, go travel if you get tickets. I don't know, but do take time off if you deserve it. Number 34, mental peace is important. So what happens is I don't argue on chat. Sometimes I leave messages for days if it has to have some kind of conflict. I prefer conflict in person, not even on call, because for me it's all about mental peace. So I'll fight with people, but if it's in person. If it's not, then I'm just ignoring their messages till the next time we meet them. It's very important. It keeps your mind sane. 35, challenge people around you to become better. I think I already explained that. You got to push them. I've had friends who weren't pushing themselves, and I knew they had that thing, in them to kind of like become better. Or even teammates, like in ASME, I really wanted everyone to become better as people, as in terms of skills, in terms of a lot of things. So I really, really, really pushed them ahead. Sometimes I made life hell for them, even though we didn't really need to, just so they learn those skills that are required in the real world. So always challenge people around you to become better. It's always nice. They're going to appreciate that later on, for sure. I think 36 is a repetition. Earning respect and trust takes time and can be gone very quickly. Earning respect is hard, but once you earn it, losing it is very easy. So if you even think you're about to lose it, just go and apologize to the person and explain your point of view. Very important. Very, very important. 37, you need to schedule your day, your week, your month, your year. That at the back is my yearly schedule. Then I have my monthly schedule, and I have my weekly, daily. On the other side, there's a board which I write down what I want to do, and I want to link that thing on the board with what's behind me, which is my yearly. It's very important. Writing things down and really increases your odds of making those things happen. Number 38, you gotta be open-minded, learn new things, explore the world. Do not just stay static on your ideas. Like a lot of the blogs I write, and a few I've said that I'm learning. So my ideas right now might not be the same ideas I have in a few years, and that's fine. Do not get attached to your ideas like you're hinged to it. It's okay to change them. Be open-minded. Number 39, do not let ChatGPT ruin your creativity. Do not use GPT too much. Some people do it. It's absurd. Do not rely on it too much. Do think before you're about to do things like that. Write your own emails, unless you're like in an emergency and you forgot your English. Do not over rely on technology. You're just gonna get dumb over time very quickly. Number 40, take everyone together. I think that's self-explanatory. Actually, it's not. You want to take everyone as a community, as a company, as a family, as friends. You want everyone to be part of the journey that you want them to take on. So you don't want to leave people behind. You want to sometimes make them think that they are the ones coming up with the ideas, and sometimes they are. It's very important that do take everyone together. They'll take more pride in being part of that team, of that family, of the friendship group, things like that. So it's very important to do that. Number 41, show initiative and people will follow. That's what I meant. This is something I used to do in my lab work. We used to make our teams, and I absolutely love working with random people for this reason. I used to tell them, okay, you do this, you do this, you do this, and then I used to be the first one to finish on the day. It kind of forced them to finish the work as well. So in my life, I never really had an issue in my university career with other people not finishing the work for that very reason. I think that was the reason. There might be something else. Number 42, do not get too serious or take yourself too seriously. Be a clown in your own life. Have fun, chill. You're not as important as you think you are. You're not. Just take life as a journey, as an adventure. Have fun, and do not get too cocky or too serious. Okay. 43, just because you're at the top does not mean you will stay there. I think I spoke about that previously. You're not going to stay at the top forever. Do not think you will. You have to continue innovating. You have to be creative. You have to recognize that you might not stay there for the top. Everyone has a collapse, and then everyone goes back up. If they put in the effort, then they go back down again. If you want to stay at the top, you need to find your mistakes. You need to identify them. You need to rectify them. You need to rectify them. You need to be creative. You need to be innovative. You need to try new things to stay at the top. Number 44, leadership is a privilege, not a right. I think that's again self-explanatory. When you're given a leadership position, do not get cocky. Do not be like me, I. It's more of a V ideology. We take everyone together, and then you also have the responsibility in leadership. There's a difference in leadership and management. In leadership, you also have the responsibility that you have to grow the people around you. You have to make sure that they become better people, better personalities. They also become leaders. So it's not just making sure that your work that you're doing is doing okay, but also that the people you're directly responsible for are becoming better people and better thinkers and things like that. Communication is so important. I will not even compromise on that. Communication is extremely important. If there's one takeaway from all of this, I'm gonna say communication. Communication is so important. You gotta make sure you communicate everything, anything. That again is a separate blog. I might write a separate blog about communication, but communication is extremely important. So do communicate good feelings, bad feelings, good decisions, bad decisions, ideas, feelings. You have to communicate things. It's very important. WhatsApp, emails, Teams, Outlook. There's so many things. In person, everything. Communication is very important. You need to create systems for that. Talking is easy, doing is hard. That's what I meant. It's very easy to come up with ideas. Sometimes it's not, but it's very easy to think you might do things, but like sitting down and actually doing them is not easy at all. But once you do it, you will have that feeling of being proud and that you actually achieve something. So that's important. Always start early. This is my second takeaway. I think I'd take whenever I used to finish my homeworks in 1 or 2 days as soon as I got them. We used to plan for ASME in the summer, so then our fall and spring, it gives you more time to be creative. Even in cricket, we used to start earlier. It gives you more time to correct your mistakes, more time to get together as a team, more time for freedom to do your own things. Like even in like if you think about studying, just because you study something once does not mean it's going to stick. It takes time for the brain to process it. So if you study it today and the exam's next week, it gives your brain the time to process and kind of like get used to that information. And then when you study the second time, you will actually like have everything in your head. So always start early. Everything in life, start early. As soon as you get it, just start. I'm not saying finish it immediately, but start it. Like start it. Number 48, admit your mistakes. I've made many mistakes. One of my biggest ones I'd say is creating a fight with someone with a very kind person who really cared about the work I did and who I am. Shouldn't have done that. I think I apologized 6-7 times for that. So yeah. And I think something else that goes along with this is if something can be done in private, do not do it in public. That's very important. Energy and attention management. I wrote a blog about it. Do read it. It's not about time management anymore. It's about those two things, energy and attention management. I used to skip classes sometimes in the morning, so I had enough energy to finish the other activities I wanted to do along the way. And then I used to study. I'm not saying skip classes. Do not do that. But energy and attention management are very important. Documentation. Always document whatever you're doing. I think I wrote a blog about making a second brain. So do read that one. It will tell you the essential and the importance of documentation is extremely important. Always document whatever you're doing from the start. Create a system so it's easy and it doesn't create friction between you achieving things. Okay. 2 more to go. No one's coming to help you. Do not expect people to do things for you. You need to go and ask them for help yourself, and only then they will be helping you. And finally, I'm getting thirsty. Have faith. For me, sometimes when things did not go well, I used to prayer and being close to my religion is what kept me going. So always like have faith, trust Allah in my case, and always be close to faith. It's very important. And with that, I would like to thank you guys for watching this. I hope this was very informative and you were able to learn a few things from this. And yeah, if you like it, please leave a comment and let me know if you have any questions. And thanks.